Welcome back to Film Forever I Love Movies. I'm Will, and today we're going to do this a little different. We're going to be talking about the new awesome series currently on Amazon Prime Video, Them.
What's worse than worse?
Heard them folks in Compton straight up evil, man.
Now, I got my partner, my family, my brother, Michael. I'm going to let him introduce himself a little further.
What's going on, people? My name is Michael Cadet, raised out here in the Bay Area. I'm currently a mortgage broker out here in the Bay Area, also invest in stocks. I've helped start businesses and, advise people on running their business and stuff. So, I'm I guess what you call a serial entrepreneur. I love just advising people with businesses and just getting involved with the whole aspect of that. So that's kind of what I do. But and my main job and focus is mortgages and helping people secure home loans.
I mean, like 2%. Well, we ain't gonna touch on that. Ain't you a fool? So look, we eat all that.
That was a good time, man. You caught me at a good time, man.
But yeah, y'all go holler at him. He'll drop his social media and all that, and we'll put it in the description. But sure, let's get into this show, Them. First of all, wait, today, what was last Friday? What was it, 16th? Was it the 9th? Came out the 9th.
Yeah.
Came out the 9th, right? So Them. If you guys don't know about Them yet, y'all slipping. Basically, I'm just reading what it says. Like a black family moves to an all-white Los Angeles neighborhood, Compton, right? Beautiful Compton, bright white Compton neighborhood where evil forces next door threaten to taunt and ravage and destroy them. That's what that says. And this show, when I first I was like, man, this is crazy. They showing this today. I wonder could this show be aired like 20 years ago? You know what I'm saying? It reminds me of Us a little bit when I first seen the preview to this movie. And just seeing the preview and seeing like one of the first, I don't think it was the first black family, but I think every black family that kind of goes there gets ran out of there by literally the only black family around that area, and it's everyone else is Caucasian, and they kind of put that family through hell. But like they said, there's some other very dark forces going on there, and that has been going on since like the 18th century, right? 1800s before that. So yeah, man, how you feel about this? It's so much to break down and just talk about this show.
Right. Man, I saw the clip in the preview on Amazon, probably just like most people, and the preview definitely looked kind of reminiscent to the Us movie, and it definitely piqued my interest. I didn't watch it immediately. I was just like, because I knew as soon as I turned that movie on, I would have to kind of get into something, so I would have to kind of invest my time when watching these type of movies, especially as a black person, So, but honestly, I was kind of surprised to what I uncovered when I started watching the film or the short series, and like you mentioned, takes place in, I think, in like the early 1950s in Compton,
1954,
prior,
I think.
Prior to the white flight is what you would call it. Okay. And what's really interesting to me is, like, you read about a lot of the redlining and a lot of the kind of discriminatory practices that took place like back in the 50s, and which kept a lot of black families out of real estate and being able to build wealth through real estate. And that's how a lot of families were able to build wealth. I mean, I'm not going to try to give away too many giveaways in the movie, but within the movie, they mentioned the price of a home during that time down in Compton, USA. I think it was like $11,000 or something like that. And so just think about it. If you're able to buy something $11,000, hold on and all that equity over time, you would have been able to, build up a lot of equity. But the thing that was just really kind of surprised me though throughout the whole film was the blockbusting, you know. And the blockbusting, I've heard of the whole term. I've read about it. I've definitely heard other people talk about it, and I know what it means, But the way that this particular movie depicted the blockbusting was very fascinating to me. And what the whole blockbusting is essentially like, okay, so these developers, you got to look at these real estate developers back in the day. Okay, so these real estate developers, they were creating like these little subdivisions, and then within the subdivisions they would sell it to white families, and on the deeds they would have these covenants saying that if you decide to sell this home, you can't sell it to a black person, a Turk, an Asian, or an Arab or something like that.
So that's
right?
what that was about, the black blood and all that.
Yeah, right. In the covenant, right, and that paperwork where when they were kind of questioning, they were like, "Well, what is this?" On the contract. And
Excuse me. Side note, y'all. If we have a spoiler, we gonna try a little bit. We just gonna talk about it. Y'all slipping if y'all ain't tried to go watch it.
yeah,
Save this video, like I always say. Save this video because we're gonna give away some juice. But you still want to come back? We're gonna be dropping some knowledge and just figuring things out.
and I'm a guest too, so if I make a mistake, I get
just blame it on blame it on you blame it on me. I'm gonna blame it on my guest. So now no, yeah, but just to continue, I'm just saying, spoiler, go watch it. Y'all can easily, that's why you got YouTube, can save this, go watch it, come back. Trust me, you'll finish watching in 2-3 days. All right, go ahead, man.
Yeah, no, it was just interesting because when they talk about the covenants, those developers that they were creating, these, essentially these little small cities for predominantly white folks, and then within the deeds, which grants the ownership of the property within that covenant, within the title and stuff, it says you can't transfer it, to a black, a Turk, an Asian, an Arab, or whatnot, right? And so I want to say, I think in the movie it mentions a particular case that took place on the Supreme Court that set the precedence of where you couldn't, discriminate and, have these covenants in place anymore. And so I think that happened like in the late 40s or whatnot. And then in the 50s, and when this movie took place, that's when she's kind of indicating like, no, this is a new time. Those covenants aren't effective anymore. You can go ahead and buy a home in this town. Okay. So to a black family, to them, it's looking like, okay, cool. Like now we're not getting discriminated against. We have the liberty to go ahead and move into this town. All good, right? We're starting to get these equal rights. But, what the movie depicted was there was a different game that was being played. And the game that was being played was this blockbusting game. Okay, so essentially what was happening, which kind of, it really drove it home for me when I saw it on the movie, was that essentially what was happening, you have a predominantly white neighborhood. And during that time, let's just be frank, man, white people didn't want to be living around black people. They didn't want to be living around anyone that didn't look like them. Okay,
brings the property value down and everything, they would say. Yeah,
exactly. And due to whatever other subconscious fears that they got of black people, they just didn't want to be around black people. Okay,
Negroes, yes, Negroes,
exactly. Right. And so I mean, and the developers had a whole part in that with the covenants that they created. But what these developers did, they said, okay, we're going to go ahead and hire a realtor that we feel comfortable doing business with, and we're going to say, hey, look, realtor, all right, right now what we're going to do, we're going to break up the block. Okay, we're going to block bust you. You know what I'm saying? So what I want you to do, realtor, I want you to go out there, find a black family, and I want you to move them in. Okay. And so what's going to happen, the realtor knows this. The developer knows that once you move a black family into that neighborhood, that white people are going to start leaving. Okay. And so what the developers are already doing, they're already building a whole new development somewhere else. You feel me? And so
Where
yeah, go ahead. Go
no,
ahead.
I'm listening. You know what, man? This is guy because watching this show, see how everyone watches this movie different. You coming from it from a whole because this is your field. You
Yeah.
know, like just realtor and housing. I didn't understand. I was the realtor that sold the black family the house, right?
Mhm.
I felt like something evil was going on, but I didn't really understand everything. I'm like, but she moving them in there, right? Yeah, I thought it was kind of messed up. Yeah, don't mind that. Black blood. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying?
Which was true because during that time that case already took place, so the covenants was illegal. So yeah, it was true. They can sell them a home at that time, and the
They
black family
couldn't
could move.
take that off. How come they can't
It
get new
was it was
contracts?
it was probably just some old template, old boilerplated contracts that they just didn't change at the time. But like the lady said, they just crossed it out, signed it, whatever.
But
You
that's
know,
hard. I mean, you think about that though, bro. Like you get
right,
ready to move in there. It was like,
right. I
I'll
know.
kill you, nigger. Like you shouldn't
Yeah,
live here. Like,
yeah. I
like
mean, that,
we're gonna hang you if you come here. I'm like,
I mean, the wife knew. I mean, that's
the
why you always
husband
gotta have
was like, man, I gotta move my family.
just listen to me. You know, the wife is like, hold on now,
Hold on, I don't
this
feel too good about this
something
hanging thing
about this
right
this
here.
language on this paperwork don't seem right. You know,
See, that's why I felt. So what you're saying, let me catch up and listen because
yeah,
I don't know about all this.
yeah,
What you're saying is because I want to know why. So what's happening is they want to break they want to get all the white people out of the neighborhood, right? Because they're building another neighborhood that's flourishing that they want to be all white. Probably will cost more or see.
exactly. You
So
know the game. You know it's game. But go ahead. Yeah,
yeah. So okay, so probably will cost more. But why if Compton is flourishing? Why bring the black family there? You know what I'm
Well,
saying? Like
well they're coming. I mean they're coming anyways, and they want to. They want to have that type of that housing, and they want to be able to, because the thing is like once you sell someone all the product, and once you're out of product, then what? You have to find a way to create some new type of product or demand. And so the only way to do that is to break up the block. And so they knew, and they were just kind of playing on the fears of the time, knowing that if you bring some black people into these neighborhoods, that these people are going to leave. They don't want to stay there. They don't want to live around black people. And it's because they didn't have the protection of the covenants anymore.
so they don't. So yeah, they should. Yeah. So I guess this new area that they're building, you know, what I'm saying, I guess it could happen. It'll eventually happen everywhere, as obviously.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
today, well,
mean,
not everywhere, but you know what I mean. Like
well, the thing that was interesting to me in the movie was that because I've heard of this whole term called white flight, meaning that it's essentially when black people or people of color move into a neighborhood, then the whole neighborhood just the white neighborhood that was there previously moves out. For example, in Little Rock, Arkansas. Little Rock, Arkansas, that's Central High School, where that lady was first, the young girl that was, integrated into that high school. That whole town was predominantly white, but when I visited that town back in 2000 when I did my college tour, and that whole town is a predominantly black town, now. And I used to always think like, well, why did they leave? Like, why did the neighborhood change like that? And I used to always think that, well, some black folks decided that, they could afford a spot and they can move in. And then all of a sudden they left. But no, this was kind of manipulated, by kind of a higher power.
so do you think, real quick? I have so many questions. Is building off you, man. I appreciate you being on here. So real quick, I gotta give a shout out because because they did their thing in this role.
It did, man. They
Everyone,
did a good
we
job.
had Deborah. Ooh, I do not want to brutalize your name. Who played Lucky? I'm sorry.
Yeah, Lucky, right,
Lucky.
Lucky,
Lucky
right.
Emery, the
Mm-hmm.
wife,
Mrs. Emery,
did
yep.
her role. Did her role. Beautiful black queen. She
Very
definitely did her
strong,
thing.
very strong
Uh,
role.
Ashley Thomas, man, Henry. I've been seeing him. I've been seeing him in a lot of little roles, and I just recently seen him in this short film called Skin, bro. You need to check it out. It's like 20 to 30 minutes at the most. I'll let you know
Yeah,
about it. Super crazy.
most
Super
definitely.
crazy.
Most
But yeah,
definitely.
so a lot of people, oh, we got old girl was Shaddai Wright Joseph. She was in Us. So it's kind of crazy. She was in Us. Now she's in
Oh
them.
yeah, the young girl that
Yeah,
that
yeah.
played. Yes, 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 yes. Yep, yep.
Melody Hurd, it's a lot. I had to just name them before we get totally into it. I'll get into the writers and directors later. But I was curious though, like when it started, not curious, I was like, I always try to break down movies and predict it before I even watch it. And I'm like, okay, this is gonna be crazy. There's gonna be some shock stuff going on in there, but like they want us to think them is the black folks, right? And really, the them is the white people in the neighborhood. But I was like, them could be the black folks because it was. I think them was everyone, and then they end up being, I guess, they're like their own personal devils that was attacking them because they kind of referred to those
Right.
they like the blackface person and the little fake white girl ghost
Right,
who
right.
was attacking or acting like she was friends with the daughter because
You
they
know,
refer to them as them actually.
you're right.
I don't know, but
That was an interesting kind of play on that because I feel like they were really playing on guilt and shame, and kind of how like guilt and shame can kind of really just torment someone.
like the girl wanting to be like they want us to think like, oh, I guess does she want to be white because is white
Or
considered
yeah,
beautiful? It's like
of course.
you remember the little I don't know if you've seen
Yeah.
this in school back in the day. They'll show they used to do this little experiment. Well, maybe took place like in the 60s or something like that, 50s. They'll have like a little black girl and they'll put a black doll and a white doll. Which one's pretty? Which one's beautiful? And they always choose the white
Right.
doll for some reason.
Right.
It made
Right.
me think of that, the whole, psychology
Yeah.
behind
I
that.
mean, and I mean it's and that's why again, kudos to the director of this film who put this all together.
Who directed it? Said Nelson Craig, Craig William McNeil, and others. Writer. I don't know. I thought I seen Lena Waithe, but I seen her name. And it was going little Marvin.
Little Marvin, I think, was the writer. I think it was.
I thought no, it was a producer. I think what's her name? Lena Waithe she was a executive producer. This was amazing, bro. This was
Yeah,
good. This was good.
because I mean, to kind of piggyback off your point with the young girl.
Yeah.
She. I mean, I think it really helped depict, just kind of just self, hate and self black hate during that time because yeah, you got a lot of in that time era. You got to understand, you're living in a society that's painted, predominantly white, and everything like from the commercials that you see from what's depicted as a standard of beauty, in terms of
Even to this
commercials,
day. Even to this day.
even to this day. I
even
mean,
even with in our culture in
right,
light skin and like the
right,
Beyonce, people always say
sure,
even
sure.
Beyonce,
They want to have blonde hair,
Kelly
and
was the best one with me, but we ain't gonna go there. But
yeah,
yeah,
hey, I agree with. I'm with you
yeah,
on that.
shout out to Beyonce. I'm just saying.
I'm with you on that. But yeah, I think everyone, I think, when, as a young black person, what I'm saying, coming up in the world, if you're not really like taught about yourself, that's a challenge I think a lot of black people go through sometimes, what I'm saying, just trying to find their own self-worth in a world that's constantly trying to tell you that you ain't worth nothing, what I'm saying, that you ain't worth this and that, and
That's a fact.
and so like, I mean, I think the triumph that we were able to witness, the family, go through was pretty amazing because I think we can all relate to kind of that point in our life where we just realize like, yo, man, you know what? I am beautiful and I am black and I love everything about me, and once you kind of just like, take that and really, internalize that, you just really shed so much of the shame and fears and any other insecurities that you may have had. So I think that was pretty
And
cool
that's
way
a
to.
fact. And what gets instilled in us at a young age, like I mean, you know, we know each other our whole life. Like being
Mhm.
young as kids, we always knew. I know I could speak. I always knew. Okay, we knew it wasn't fair for
Yeah.
us, right?
Yeah.
Quote unquote. But at the same time, I never wanted to be another race. See, but I know some
Mhm.
people deal with that though, right? And that's
Right.
you know,
Right.
because thank God I had a mom who
Right.
instilled that into me in love and from God and Christ first, and myself, and just you know, loving who I am, you know.
Mhm.
So, but at the same time, I just always thought like I wouldn't want to be any other race. But it's funny when you sometimes you see people, some comedians, they was like, man, if I had a choice, I'll be white. Look at all this stuff. And it's funny when people say that, right? And you can laugh at it, but it's so real. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
believe in this movie kind of took all of that, right?
Yeah.
And just smacked it in your face,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, man. So now, what was the man? Let me look at the name. So this is Star Trek. I like how they went back. So the like the man in the hat, right? The false prophet, I guess we could say now.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Um
Right. Right.
uh where it kind of all started. Well, I guess the hate's been there, but was that the same land where all his people were, where all the white people were when they helped that the black couple with the pregnant wife?
Yeah.
And when he thought he was helping them, everyone else didn't like that he was helping these black people. So back then in the 1800s, was that Compton? Because I'm trying to think, was the land cursed? That's what I was trying to understand.
Yeah. But from what I took from it, what that episode, what that was depicting, yeah, was where the curse came from. And yeah, I think that land was that, in that the present day of what we were watching, so yeah, I think that land was cursed, due to that false prophet, doing his old wicked, devilish sins, and cursing the land. And in order for him to, I guess, still exist, he had to fulfill whatever agreement that he made with the devil. And so that's why his whole objective was to enter into the minds of people and to cause terror. And so the best way to do that was to, play on people's, guilts and fears and
Mm,
things like that, so yeah, so anyone black, I guess, for whatever reason, he was like, they were the easiest targets, because they had the cracks that they can, that he can enter into. With someone who has a strong mind, it ain't going to be that easy to enter into. But someone who has these cracks, such as the young black man, Mr. Emery, who made that unfortunate mistake that he had no control over, he's, that devil was going to use that to his advantage. So yeah, he cursed that thing, man.
man, that family was strong, man. Like I love how they were so real with each other too.
Yeah.
Husband and wife, or you got this, and vice versa. He never made her feel like she was crazy, and vice versa.
Yeah.
But it was one part, bro. I thought it was one of the realest scenes where they fought in front of the kids without yelling or anything at the table when she gave him that pie.
That pie, I
Woo, that
know,
scene
right?
was tough.
Boy,
And,
I know.
but I
Yeah.
almost shed a tear. He's like, "No, I'm
Me too,
eating this, bro." And when he ate the
bro.
pie, nigga, he was like,
I-
and then he had to swallow it. And then you see, man, oh
the
my goodness,
discomfort, like,
Miss Emery did her, and just the look on her, both of them.
yeah,
When he ate the pie, you could see the hurt. Like, you feel bad. You know what I'm saying? You knew what you
yeah,
was doing. You know what I'm
right.
saying? Like that. So that was like really the only kind of fight they had. Um, but I want to see okay. Remember the messed up cold scene with the son, the little son that got killed in
Mm-hmm.
that brutal way.
Right.
Now, the lady, what was she saying? I forget, some little quote with the 2 or 3 white dudes that she had with her that ended up raping her.
Right.
Now check this out. I believe maybe it was all in her head. It was the same lady at the crazy place.
Mm-hmm.
My bad. I called it the crazy place, but yeah, because they thought she was crazy, they sent her to the psych
Right.
ward. Uh, and those same dudes worked there. Now, was she just seeing them? They were just playing a different character. Did
Huh.
you notice that? because it was the same lady and the same guy. The big, I don't want to get in trouble. My boss, get in trouble. Take this shot.
Yeah.
That's one of the guys who was, I don't know if he was the one that actually raped her or holding her down. That was the same lady. Even her lips was all cracked. She looked like
right.
like a broken skeleton or something like that.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, bro. But then she had on some makeup and everyone's like, that's her though. It was the same people. And that's why she had that look on her face when she came. Like, what the heck?
I gotta watch that part again because I didn't peep that.
You didn't know it's the same. It's the same people, bro. Yeah. See that's when I was like, okay, are they playing two characters, or it kind of messes with your head because they want us to think like, because the episode. Remember, I forget what episode it was. They never explained when she came to the front yard, right? She dug up her son that was dead, right? The next episode, she's locked up. They didn't show like why they take her. That doesn't, just because she's holding these bones doesn't say that she killed that person. She just ended up in the psych ward. Why? It made me think she was dreaming at first.
Well, I think they because I mean that was a pretty wild scene for the police to, I'm sure, come to. I mean, and I'm just trying to use my own imagination, but
they're bones though. They don't even know what the bones went to though. They were bones.
I mean, yeah, I know. I mean, but it'll look like it was like wrapped up, like like a little mummy, and it had like a little weird little alien head.
Yeah, no, but it was still. I don't know why it's weird that it was bones already. Because first in the beginning, I didn't know if that they had that child early before the other two daughters. But no, that wasn't that long ago.
Right.
The body ain't gonna decompose like that.
Decompose that fast. Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean,
that out. It's the same people.
That may have been some type of theatrical errors.
Maybe they went a little too deep to have that. Okay, look, you know what I'm gonna do? Hold on, I ain't gonna lie. Shout out to Pat Healy, Marty Dixon. He made me want to punch him in the face. He played that role so good. Dude who got his leg chopped. I
was saying too. When after I watched everything, I was like, man, everyone did an awesome job on
phenomenal.
This movie. I would say like the black cast members and the white cast members, because
everybody.
Like Betty. Oh, I wanted to smack the hell out of Betty. I wanted to smack her so many times. Yeah, I
felt sorry for her. I ain't gonna lie, I felt sorry for her when he was locked up. The milkman.
But at the same time though, like going back to the whole blockbusting, play that they was kind of running on everybody, it still, to me, it seems like a higher force, like an invisible hand, was just kind of pitting these two people against each other and causing all this like dissension and causing all this ruckus. Which was these developers, because these developers knew that if a black family moves, that they ain't gonna like that. There's gonna be there's gonna be some consequences that happen. So, it's just
yes. So I know, bro, I was wrong. That the doctor didn't play both roles because she looked a little different. She just looked like the other lady. The doctor didn't play both roles. I'm thinking, I believe Roger. Don't hold me to that. But I think the big dude was the same cat, but I could be wrong. Was it but yeah, man, that is what's her name on the shout out? Because she you seen our girl I'ma beat ass from Friday. Yeah. Was it Paula J? What's her name? I get right here. Paula J. Parker.
Parker. Right. No, I
she was awesome. I really loved her in this role. Yeah, I really loved her.
I like seeing her in this role and kind of playing her supporting cast. I mean, she didn't have like too big of a role, but
I mean, she was on a few episodes and and what's her name, man? What's the girl name from bro? She played on all the movies. She was in Dreamgirls. She was in she played she was Princess and the Frog. She was Princess Tiana, the voice of that.
Oh man,
bro, what's her? You know what I'm talking about, bro. Like she was the other black family, the lady who supposedly killed her sons. Hey, I'm going. Dang, I can't believe it. I'll look her. I'll probably have it pop up. Maybe I will. Is that her? I think it's Nika Noni Rose. I think, yeah, Ella Mae Johnson. It was Johnson.
Yes, yes, the Johnson family. Yeah, that was a trip.
You know, it was crazy when I first started watching this show, the first episode, right? It was some type of scene where I couldn't see the lady, which was, well, I didn't know it was Mrs. Emery.
Yeah.
And I thought it was Anika Noni Rose, right? And I said, oh, that's not her. Then the episode came and she's in it. I was like, oh, that's a coincidence. That's crazy. Yeah, man. This
So what were some of your takeaways though, man? I mean, so how did this film make you feel, man? Like, what was some of your main takeaways?
Okay.
Like more specifically, like, you know, what would you think about? Because I'm curious to what you think about the whole priest, you know, situation. Because I feel like, man, like there was this like I feel like, you know, honestly, you know, I gotta be honest, like I feel like he betrayed these people,
Oh,
you
that's a
know,
fact.
and he betrayed these people, and I feel there's a history of that, you know, and that's why I felt like it was kind of depicted well that, you know, sometimes, you know, there's a history of Black folks where they get introduced, you know what I'm saying, to something, and they're met with kindness, and then all of a sudden they're in chains and they're getting their eyes poked out. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the heck?
Yeah.
So, I mean, just what's your thoughts on that?
I mean, you know, I just take it in. I'm watching it now. For as far as the priest, I think he was been wrestling. He had good intentions, but what he let get to him was the outside, the rest of the town, the people. You know what I'm saying, around him. They didn't like that he started helping that Black family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, he kept trying to put his foot down. He kept trying to put his foot down. But where the enemy came in, when I say enemy, I mean Satan, the devil came in, and I missed it right when it happened. Was he was already kind of struggling with that, but he was doing pretty well as far as responding to the rest of the town, since there's so many things. I believe that the town already thinks he's the only one that can hear from God.
Right.
You know, he's the only one that can hear from God. So we don't know if that's kind of going to his head, anything. You know, he's I don't know. He feels some type of, you know, some type of way. And I don't know why the people think that. So they obviously don't know the gospel, but he's the only one that can hear from God.
He's trying to deal with his ego, you know?
Yeah, exactly. He's trying to deal with his ego. But where Satan won with him was the child, because he lost the child before. So he used little naked little white boy in the bushes. I missed it though. I was like, oh, but he had his heart already went out to him. That little boy,
yeah,
ended up being Satan, because he told him to look at, you know, some type of scripture. Then he thought, oh, these Black people are property. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think he was kind of I think he had an intention to try to do well, to try to do good. He just didn't try hard enough. You know what I mean? And he ended up being a slave of Satan's and breaking that promise. And we see what happened at the end. You know?
Right.
Yeah, man. I ain't go. Oh yeah, that's all I keep forgetting to say.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember episode 9. I usually don't remember specific episodes, but I specifically remember episode 9 of how it made me feel. Bro, it felt evil. I felt the evil. Like, but maybe that's not
that
like
was
a
the
knock.
one with the. Was that the one with the priest? Was that?
That was when it really, the episode for last. That's when they burnt the Black family up, the pregnant lady, the wife.
Right.
Upside down in the fire.
Right.
But even before that part, because maybe, I don't know, I was just feeling, I was feeling everything in it, like in there, not even just the gruesome part. They did their thing as far as like that emotional attachment that they want the viewer to have of this show. I was in it all the way. I almost had to cut it off. I was like, man, this is too, because it didn't just feel like a movie. Because obviously I didn't live back in them days, but we know stuff like this used to happen, because we have family and relatives, ancestors. We hear all these stories. It just felt, in a weird way, close to home. You know what I'm saying? If that makes any sense. And I just felt like, man, this is bad. And it just got eerie. I don't know if you felt that in
I
any of
did.
the episodes. You know what I'm saying?
Big time, because I think it's very relatable in some sort of way, because I think, uh, I listened to this lady. She was a psychiatrist named uh, Dr. Cress Wilson, and
Mm-hmm.
she passed away a few years ago. And I was watching a documentary of hers one time, and she mentioned, like, earlier in her practice, when she would interview patients, she would interview everyone. Like, she would interview white people, black people, and whatever. And she said that every time that she would interview the white folks, like, typically their mental issues would stem back to, like, some family issue. They didn't get enough attention as a child, or maybe they got abused or something like that, or whatever the case. But every time that she interviewed a black patient, it always stemmed back to something racial, and it always, like their psychosis and their mental instability always stemmed back to something racial. And remembering that and watching them, helped. It just made me realize, it kind of just drove in the point that she was making, because
Not to cut
her
you off, but this lady, and
yeah,
if you don't, what?
yeah,
Tell me her name one more time, and I'm gonna ask you something. A lot
yeah.
of black folks ask, what was her race?
Oh, Dr. Cress Wilson?
Yeah.
Black. She was a black woman.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, she was a black psychiatrist.
Hmm.
And very prominent in the 70s, in the 80s and all that. She's done a lot of work. She wrote the ISIS papers, was one of her, like, pretty
Okay.
predominant works and stuff. So talks a lot about just this, psyche of, white folks with, fear against black folks and things like that. So interesting stuff, interesting work. But
You were at when you said the black folks, they feel it's always racial when it goes back. That's what you're saying.
It goes back. Yeah, they always, their black patients always felt, her black patients, it always went back to some type of racial, incident that kind of, caused their mental instability. And so watching this film, you see how the Emerys, with all these pressures, that are happening around them. And there's this, like, one scene where Mrs. Emery, where she breaks out of the psych ward, and she's walking home, and she's coming home, in the middle of all the chaos, and then the whole neighborhood is, like, seeing her, like, you did this, what did you do to Betty, and all this and all that, and screaming at her, and then all she could do is just scream. Like, that's all she could. She's just like, like, get the hell away from me, and, like, and the whole crowd just kind of backs up, and I was just like, whoa, like.
See, we felt that a different way, right? But what do you think have all them white folks? What did they think? You think?
They thought that this woman is crazy.
She's an animal, like, animal. Remember, he's like, the apes. They're just as strong as apes. Remember them? That same dudes on the roof.
Yeah, right. Like, he didn't want to deal with that. He thought, and that's the thing, because like you just said, they say that I didn't want to go deal with him because they got that ape strength. You know what I'm saying?
They were scared. Yeah.
They were scared. That's the same thing that they said, with Michael Brown. You know what I'm saying? That, he had superhuman strength. They got this whole, like, weird, like, stereotype of, like, black people, black men having this, like, superhuman strength, like, we can't feel pain, or bullets, or things like that.
Right.
And so it's just it was interesting to see kind of, how, like, present day psyche, and where it stems from. It kind of comes from that era, and just how it just all ties in. So
that's a fact.
So I just think that's pretty interesting.
Yeah. I mean, given all that, this movie, like, I ain't gonna lie, I did have a little, after watching the preview. It looked good. It was heavy. I almost didn't want to watch it though, just for the simple fact that the emotional attach, like the emotion that it can strike with you. Just like, come on, like, when I remember when I first seen Higher Learning. You know what I'm saying? I'm a teenager.
Right.
It make you want to hate white people or something like that. You know what I'm saying? You go to school,
when they killed
your
Tyra,
best friends, like, what's wrong with you? Man, you gonna die. You gonna die.
Yeah,
You're choking them. Like,
oh my God.
but I know,
Remy.
see, and it had to be deeper than just sparking that emotion to get angry. And that's something I know that we have to deal with. But I still had compassion and things for Betty when she was in that thing, like when she was in the bunker.
Oh, in the bunker.
Dang, she was in there, dude. The milkman, that's the most patient man in history.
Man,
He built a bunker
milkman.
waiting on her.
The milkman.
The
My
milkman.
God.
The
He smooth backed her into that damn bunker, boy.
She macked herself into that bunker.
Facts.
Because she called it. She macked herself. She thought she was quarterbacking, and she had everybody in the city pumped up.
You know.
And her husband, I mean, you kind of
Right.
seen what they were kind of assuming with him.
Right,
I think.
right.
I didn't even get it till a little later. I was like, oh, that's why.
Well, that caused, obvious difficulties within their relationship, because, he was going one way, she wanted something else, and, and she had particular needs, and so that's easy to understand.
He was getting his needs from somewhere else.
From the milkman. Hey! Yeah, so I mean.
That's the twist. He in the house, the milkman in the house with her husband.
Right.
Yeah, man. It's I still have like after all that, like you see all these things. That's why sometimes I can't just watch things like that. Like, okay, there's another one of these type of movies, be hanging black folks and doing all this. I had to really stick in there on certain scenes. It's like, man, this is messed up. And I know they do a lot of things for shock. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And giving the environment now, what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for a standpoint for them, entertainment and shock, it was perfect timing for them to put this movie out, put this show out right now. But it also can be dangerous too. Just depends on the right mind state people will be in when they watch this. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And how it affect them. But I still had compassion for Betty. Poor little Betty, man. Like her little crazy self. She looked like I don't even know if it was. She was just off. That look.
I mean,
that look.
That's that like 1950s housewife look, and that she was just like. I mean, it's a trip, man. I mean, growing up. I mean, being a housewife in the
Chucky
50s.
doll.
Yeah, I'm sure that was not an easy thing. Just having to be stuck in the house all day and having all types of, pressures and things going on through your mind that you don't know how to deal with, and then you got the Emerys moving next door. Like,
And but did you catch like in their head? She says something to don't hold me to this, y'all. She was saying something like, man, they're not taking. I'm being nice. All the things we're doing, I'm like, oh, that's nice. And I caught another thing. Betty was like sadistically smart because she says like they're used to like hardships and pain. Right. We just have to get more harder and be more painful than what they're used to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And there was some truth in that, right? Because the last situation the Emerys came from, oh my gosh. You can only imagine if that was to happen to you. Like, what do you do? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, what happened? It only made them stronger, though. Like, I'm glad they show like if Mrs. Emery didn't, if Mrs. Emery resented her husband, she didn't show that at all. I mean, she held him down.
The beauty and the strength of a Black woman, a Black family, and just the resolve of a whole just a family, Black family unit. Man, having to go through that, because I think that the show just really puts you in that era, like in the whole situation, as if you was going through it yourself as a Black person, because you've had some similar incident at least once in your life where you've been discriminated.
Oh my goodness,
gone through something. But it just, man, I mean, to be able to just like Mr. Emery hold your cool, when he was kind of being kind of hated on at his job, when he wanted to go to the whole like little company event, and he was just like, yeah, man, just take a day off. I'm saying, you don't need to go mingle with us on this type of stuff, just go take the day off. And he was like, nah, let me go. Nah, man, I want to go, mingle and do my thing, man, and meet people, and but for him just to hold his cool, and not react the way that he really wanted to react, like a beast in the field.
Man, and he was strong. That's what you call strong and fighting smart. Remember
Yeah.
when
And
when they was
fighting
at
smart. Yeah.
when he was in the they was at the little work party, right?
Right.
And then the big boss was up there. He wanted to go talk to him. So he was planning because he was in the war too. He was in the military.
Right.
So that
Right.
was the connection he had. Then
Exactly.
the little brown nose kiss ass
Right.
supervisor came along.
Networking.
He
Yeah.
said he stopped him. I don't even think you're gonna go talk to him. Boom. He went up and talked to him anyway. Like I love the emotion, the feel, the look he had in his eyes. Like one of my favorite scenes. Like I almost brought it up earlier when he was on the roof, right? And he was fixing something on the roof or doing something. He had the hammer, and then the neighbors, the white guys, come over. They want him to come
Right.
down and come down here, and
They threw a beer.
He's
Right.
like,
Right.
this was so like this. How you know you don't want to mess up? He's like, just please, just ask me to come down.
And the thing
I'll
is
give
like,
you what you want. And they was like,
I love that scene.
I'm like, maybe we don't want this.
Right. Yeah, he had to walk away from that. Like, nah, man, I think I'm out here asking a little too much than what I can handle, man. And honestly, man, typically that's the reaction of what black men of how they're going to react is they typically are going to react with a calm, cool resolve. You know, I mean, the mainstream media is going to try to paint a picture that, you know, we're just all beasts in the field and we're just all animals and all that, you know. But typically, the way that black man responded is typically the opposite way I would, you know, try to respond with some calm resolve to let you know I'm still a man and I'm not the one to be messed with, you know.
He did that so well. I don't even know if I can react that. You know, I might be too a little hot headed.
Yeah.
Come down there. Okay, there's 3 of them. I might be smart. So you never know. He did that because he's willing. I mean, and as a man, you show that you know he's willing to put his life on the line for his family. Which he does. And just think about even just as a you can even take the race part out of it. As a man, right? And then a man of your household. What are you going through to know that you weren't there to protect your child and your wife because you were gone out having a good time and what happens that can break that could break you. It's right. He probably, of course, probably don't hurting himself, all kind of stuff like that.
And that was the whole, you know, that whole, you know, the devil playing tricks on you type, you know, thing, kind of narrative that was going on within the movie because you know, at the end of the day, it just was not the man's fault, man. He took his kid out to his kids, since his 2 girls, you know, yeah, he left an hour early, so what, you know, he had to go get some kettle popcorn at the movies, you know, with his kids, and these evil people came by and did that to his wife and his child, man. So there's nothing he could have done. He can't, you know,
that. Yeah, there's nothing you could have done. Like, how'd you feel? And it was so proud. I like how they used the now that you peep the blackface, right?
Yeah, of course.
You seen who that was at the end.
Who was that again?
To me, that was his boss.
When he wiped it. It was his boss, right? But who was it? Like the actual? Because it was throughout the whole movie. It wasn't
playing him. No, right. I don't know, but you know what was crazy to me. If you look through it, blackface, it was a black man with white face and then blackface. But then he wiped it off. It was his white manager. So that was, and there's something deeper to that probably that I don't. If someone's gonna come and like, you know what it is scientifically, you should have. I don't know. I'm gonna be like, what? I'm gonna start using that. I'm using that. Who played that? What was his name? What was it?
Jeremiah.
It's gonna say blackface on there. Let me see.
They call him the tap dance man.
Who's rolling? Oh, Annette Beaumont, the custodian. Let's see. The little girl, she was so cute and adorable, man. The little daughter.
Yeah, she was.
Well, that's what I want to ask you. I'm trying to find a dude. Who was Miss Vera? I feel like she came out of nowhere. She always there the book, but who was she? And that was some witchcraft stuff and garbage up the page. But who is she? Wait, what was that about? They didn't really explain that too deep. They went into
they didn't go too deep into the whole Vera thing. I think it was just kind of one of those, you know, you have your childhood boogeyman type, you know, fears as a kid, and you know, I guess they had to help the child break that little fear in her head or whatnot, you know.
For it.
But
yeah, man.
They didn't go too deep onto that aspect.
But it was an important. But it okay. I feel like they should have been. that's my little drawback from that. Or maybe I missed something because it was so
Or
important.
or
Yeah.
maybe because the whole plan of the devil of the man in the white hat, because the man in the white hat, he took many forms. You know what I'm saying? And I
White
think,
hat. Wait, who's the man in white hat?
or excuse me, the white man in the black hat.
Oh,
Excuse
okay.
me.
I'm like, this is a
I'm
no
tripping.
character. No, it's okay. I
My,
like.
my, my, my dyslexia out here
No,
playing
it's all
in, you know
good.
what
No,
I'm saying?
I really thought, I'm like, I missed. I gotta watch that right now.
No, man, no. Yeah, I think because he took the shape, he took many forms, and so I think because his task was to mess up the whole family, and so I think he was just kind of starting to mess with the little girl, just that was his like initial seeds, maybe, you
Well,
know what I'm
that was
saying?
her devil, or that she was dealing with,
That
and
she was going to eventually deal with as she
yeah.
started getting older, maybe, like some evil teacher that, was hella mean to her, Miss Vera, and then she goes to school and has a learning issue, because she did go to school and she went to the,
Remind me, yeah, she went to this.
yeah,
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I almost cried when real quick. Jeremiah Burkett played the tap
yeah,
dance man.
yeah,
Um,
okay,
did his thing in that role.
yeah, no, awesome.
Amazing in that role. I'm actually looking
awesome,
up other
bro.
movies he's in. That's what I go off of. They do these roles good. I just go find all their movies.
Yeah, no, he did his thing for sure, man. Perfect.
Like growing up, I had to take. I went to schools where it's predominantly white and predominantly black before, right?
Yeah.
And I've been in class where the only black kid in class, bro. Both the teacher scenes, the one where the oldest daughter, when she was in class and she raised her hand because she knew the answer, and they was like, ooh, ooh, and she stood there till
man,
a tear went down her face.
Yeah,
I could have cried, and I want to I want to take somebody's throat out in that scene right there. And then she cried, and then the teacher looks like, oh, poor thing, come here, and gave her like a detention slip and said, you're disrupting class.
You're disrupting the class.
And the teacher did that to the little girl too. Like she was like in a little different way. Well, the little girl, she wasn't tripping because she was seeing, was it Miss Vera?
Right.
And then it's crazy. And actually, this is a very real thing, as we know, and still to this day, where these teachers, I'm talking about like even kindergarten, elementary school teachers, will reprimand little black boys and saying they need help and going crazy and something's wrong with them.
Me too.
Rather, but then it's different for little white kids, little Timmy. This happens all the time, and especially if they don't have parents that can't be present that much because maybe they have to work and everything like there. Man, I try my best. My wife and I try to be there for our children because it still happens to this day.
It does. And
so I love that they touched on that. Something that was going way back then is still happening now.
It happened to me as a child when I was in kindergarten.
Happened to us.
I mean, yeah, man. I mean, I couldn't write the letter A correctly. The lowercase a. I was just writing it all messed up. My loops was just
still can't, right? Still can't, right?
Well, I man, look, man, it's like I made it artistic now. It's artistic now.
So you couldn't write the A. What happened?
Couldn't write the A, and the teacher she just like leaned over and just with the meanest face, like, you're never gonna pass the kindergarten. You're gonna stay in kindergarten forever. And just like, I mean, freaked the hell out of me, yo. I was scared, just soulless, yo. Like, I was like, what? I was scared, and I cried and everything. And I went back to my mom, and I told my mom like what the lady said. And I was like, yeah, I was like, yeah, mom, yeah, the kindergarten teacher, she said, I ain't never going to first grade. Yeah, I want to go with my friends. She said, I can't go. She's like, oh, wait, what'd she say? And, sometimes mom,
honey, taking an earring.
Yeah, right. She's like, hold on, let me just make sure I heard you correctly. Wait, she said, what? Oh, right, okay. She said you can't do who? Okay, we're gonna call her right now. You know what I'm saying?
Kevin sent this letter. My mama said.
Yeah, no, and it was 8:00 that night, and I don't even know how she got the number. This is like 1980 something, so there wasn't like no, Google. You can Google the number.
Right.
She called her and just gave it to that woman.
As she should.
Yeah. Next day, I walked into the classroom.
You walked into the third grade.
Where I sit right here, shoot. Here go my curly curl A's, shoot.
Right. I put a star if I want to for my eggs.
Yeah, man. And so
That's
yeah,
bombs though.
it's a trip though that black kids, they need to be, treated a little bit different. I mean, I just don't think, sometimes, I'm not saying all teachers, there's good teachers out there, I'm not saying all teachers, but there's some teachers that don't know how to handle a black kid.
Bro, do you remember this? We ain't gonna say the school. Those that know us know what school. And I think about it to this day, bro. And I know you probably don't know why.
Yeah.
Me, you, and my cousin. Do you
I
know
what
why
you-
we
I know
were
what you're
picked to
talking
be
about.
in? Do you know why
I know
we
exactly
had to
what
go
you're
to
talking
counseling
about.
every
Yep.
Friday? Had no reason why we were chosen. You guys, and as young, we're like, oh, we get it's a test every Friday. We get to
Right, bro.
and it's okay. How is home? We
They were
didn't know why
trying to
we got
play
picked.
us. They were trying to play
That
us.
wasn't the first time. When I had switched schools, bro.
Mhm.
They moved me. Not just me. They took every black kid in the school, maybe except one, and then I guess kids that they thought were quote unquote rejects or weren't gonna be nothing in life.
Right.
I say that to say it was called the Star Group, right? And they would always take us on field trips and stuff, right? It was fun. But one time the assistant principal, I should say her name, but I ain't gonna do it. She was talking to us. She's like, you guys are, you know why we're doing this group? And I'm just sitting there listening, ain't paying attention too much. And we're doing this group because, you guys are good. So I know it's going to be challenging for you guys in life and blah, 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 blah. And so she goes, everyone's, listen. She goes, pretty much everyone's the same. No one's better than no one. But after this group, hopefully you guys will be at the level of the other kids.
Oh, God.
Okay, goes, excuse me. If you said we all the same, why would we have to move up after this? So you're saying we're on a lower level than those other kids? Oh, I mean, no. I mean, everyone was like, yeah. Because even I was like, yeah, hold up, you did just say that.
Right.
Moms never knew. They just put you.
Yeah.
In
My mom's never knew
groups.
neither. Yep.
And I thought about that almost every school I went to, except the school that is predominantly black. You know what I'm saying? I ended up in these groups. So
it's a trip, bro.
It's crazy, right? It's because and that's why I'm looking out for that stuff now. That's when my daughter come home, any of my kids come home, like, yeah,
right.
Such happened. What you say? Okay, I'm coming to the school. I'll be there.
Like, how is that? Like, I mean, like you're removing me from class, from the environment in which I need to learn, so I can talk about how I can help you catch up to the others who are learning. That don't make no sense to me. It seems like I'm going to be put further behind since I'm not in the classroom with everyone else learning what they need to be learning. And for some reason, they wanted to always, separate. I didn't even know. I never got like knowledge into terms of like, yo, you need to go to this group over here. I just got a slip like, yep, you need to come. Okay.
And we were happy thinking like, we think we too smart. We ain't gonna tell moms and stuff at home.
I get to hang out with my friends.
We with family in here, and we get to cuss. I remember they told us. I remember.
Right.
I was gonna say. I remember when you
that.
said.
Yes.
They was like, say feel however you feel. And it was one time it was a lady, but it was this guy before.
Yep.
This always happened, bro. One thing I remember too, my cousin, Art. Art already know where I'm going with this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Art, but hey, again, I'm talking about younger, bro. We were gonna do this, what you call talent show. This is elementary school, mind you. Back in the day, I used to be nice at dancing, choreographed dance, doing flips and stuff.
Right.
We end up making up a dance, right? We're gonna do this dance for the talent show, right? All right. So every time after school, everybody got to go to like a little multi-purpose room and practice, right? We was there, and then we recruited one other person, and then they just wanted to be there. They were just there, but we was like ready because me and Art would practice. We would just do this on a regular, go to each other's houses and just make up dances, right? And back in the day, this was 80 y'all. We danced to MC Hammer and Vanilla Ice.
Yeah.
Kid you not. The dude who was running the we was there. We was all excited. Kids everywhere doing whatever they gonna do. He comes to us. 3 black boys. He go, hey, you guys pretty much you guys in the talent show? Yeah, we in talent show. Sorry, you guys can't be in it no more. And we don't understand knowing what it we knew a little later when it dawned on us. you can't because sorry, we already have too many people. You can't. Didn't call our parents nothing. Told kids, sorry, kick rocks.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, it's so embedded. They probably thought these little black kids out here wasting our time or something like that. And so I like, they put that in the movie, and that's how deep it goes, even deeper than that, So
and that's
feel
why,
that.
and that's why I think it really hits home with a lot of brothers and sisters, like, because we've in some form of or in some fashion we've experienced some element in terms of what they're going through. It's specifically that one scene that Mrs. Emery, when she came home and she screamed at the whole crowd of the whole neighborhood.
Release.
It was a release of
Yeah.
frustration. She was so frustrated because it's like, look, man, I'm not doing anything. Look, I mean, y'all just driving me crazy out here. I don't know what else to do. And I remember I had an incident in Florida one time, and I was with my cousin and his girlfriend, and we went to a gun shop, and we wanted to go. They wanted to go shoot, at the gun range or whatnot, and I was in the store with my cousin and his girlfriend, walking around the store, and the guy who was the instructor, all of them are just, it's open and carry over there, and the instructor, he was just like, I just don't like the way you're looking. And he kept on hinting like he was about to draw. And he was like, I just don't like the way you're looking right now. And I'm looking around like, bro, I'm just sitting here, dude. Nah, there's something about the way you looking, like I just don't like it. And my cousin had to step in like, bro, he ain't doing nothing, man. It's like, I don't even know what to do, bro. I'm just sitting here being me, not saying anything, not causing no disruptions, not doing anything. He just didn't like the way I looked.
You sure look, bro. It's funny you say that, bro. It's crazy, man, because anyone who know me, like, I know you well, right? And it's funny when you get certain people that go, how come he never smiles? Everything okay? Are you not that happy? If anybody who know me, I ain't gotta finish that sentence.
Yeah,
I'm a happy. I'm mean and this and that.
Right, man.
It's because when people feel they can't read you,
I
actually love that too, because I just sit there. Well, I still know what you're thinking.
I'm just, man. Like I'm just here, man. I'm just basking in the sunshine.
It pumps fear into them when it shouldn't really. But yeah, man. It's just so this movie, this series, man. If you guys haven't checked this out, take the time. I guarantee you will finish. You could binge watch it. You could finish this 2 days, probably. Some people could probably watch it in a day, if they have all that time. But I highly recommend you watch this. Not just it don't matter what race. Watch this series. Trust me, you will not go wrong.
One thing also I want to mention too is because you just mentioned, to suggesting everyone to watch it. The white folks who watch it, are I think are in for some type of, for a little bit of education. I was educated a little bit on, like just the kind of the nuances of like the blockbusting and some other little aspects within the movie. But honestly, you'll be surprised, man. Like when you actually go and talk to white people about like racial history in this country, a lot of white folks are not educated on this topic. And a lot of white folks are just ignorant to the history, like the nuances, like the the real intricacies of like what took place that created this world that we see today. And so I think it's really an insightful movie, even for white folks, just to watch and peep, like, man, this is how your neighborhoods was created. These are a lot of subdivisions was created, and why, when you look at people who live in the hood, why those hoods look the way they look. Why is there a freeway always by a hood? You gotta ask yourself, like, why? And these are all by design. It's all by that invisible hand that's over both of us, white people and black people. You see what I'm saying? And they really, that invisible
Mm,
hand, the powers that be, they play the game to pit us against each other, and then they still controlling everything. They're selling white people, more expensive assets. They're moving, black people from one area, putting them in loans that they couldn't afford, and then taking the properties back and then gentrifying it. It's a whole game. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, the whole like pull yourself up by your bootstraps, narrative. You look at a movie like this, it shows like just kind of a snippet as to kind of what is happening, kind of the underbelly of the
that's a fact,
issues, in this country, in this history.
bro. And to build off of that, um, I like that the show touched on it's not about black and white.
Mhm.
Because on the surface, but what comes down to, and I say this a lot, good and evil. It was
Mhm.
evil. It's
Mhm.
spiritual. This is a spiritual warfare now. You might be like, oh, I don't know all about it. It is. It's definitely spiritual. Satan had his hand in on that work in there. You know what I'm saying? Like you just
Yeah.
said. I mean, like you said, the white folks, they get charged. They're gonna get charged more and everything. So I hope people, like when you say, for some people, like some white people will watch this not to get offended.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And it's entertainment too. Take it for what
Sure.
it is. But at
It's
the
a
same
horror. It's a
time,
horror movie. Whatever.
yeah.
So
But at the same time, it's just a lot of realness to this.
yeah.
It's a lot of realness to this, and that's why I think it kind of hit me in a serious way on in certain scenes, certain episodes. So that's why I like that it didn't just stop there. It showed it. It could have just left it right there, man. Like had you feeling like, yeah, kill Whitey, man, revolution, we
Right.
going out
Right.
there. But no, I seen it on, and they showed it. Not just you seeing it, have to look deep. No, it was on a spiritual level. It's evil, you know what I'm saying, by design. So whoever
Yeah.
don't really believe in, and there's a spiritual realm and everything, hey, that's on you. But hopefully you can, take it for what it is. Don't get offended. Watch. If you get offended, maybe that's a good thing. It's touching something in there. You know what I'm saying? Just
Yeah.
don't act on any kind of negative feelings that you get from this.
Right. No, it's definitely gonna touch some chords within people, for sure, for sure. Because yeah, I mean, there's some pretty foul language that's very insensitive, and so I'm sure that's gonna be probably very sensitive to a lot of people's ears.
Going
Maybe
to
not.
hear
The
nigger.
ER, you know what I'm
The
saying?
ER, the hard.
Yeah,
But some people, real quick, some people don't know the difference. White
yeah,
folks. It's
yeah.
like, hey, bro, was you with me one night? It's so crazy, bro. We was somewhere. I think we was in the city on Broadway. This was like when we like 17, 18.
Yeah.
We out there.
Hmm.
And we on a strip, and I'm just out there, and I see this little older white guy, right? I don't know if he gets into it with another black dude, right? I don't
Yeah.
know what it was about. I'm just out there chilling. I think you was when you catted off that day. It was
Cat
out there.
daddy.
Cat daddy, yeah, baby. So I'm out there, right? And then I guess their little scuffle, it wasn't physical. He walk away, and then the white guy looks at me. So you believe this guy? This guy's a nigger, right? He's a nigger. And I was like, yeah. No, I was kidding. I didn't say that. I was like, first I was like, wait a minute.
Hold on,
What? And
bro.
I was younger then. So
You're right, right,
whenever
right.
I said, oh, it was yeah, that situation went. But I was like, it could have went all the way left. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? But it's crazy. And I say that because nigga is the same.
Hmm.
See, this can go into somewhere else. I really want to, I don't know. We could turn this whole little show podcast into a whole nother episode because
Yeah.
it goes into the whole N word and everything like that. But
I don't really allow people to say that. Like Asian cats and things like that, and I've
okay, we
had
good.
people, say that like around. I've had like a Mexican dude or Asian dude, white dudes, thinking because they've adopted the culture, that entitles them to be able to,
Around
use
you.
these, around me, and I'm like, nah, bro, like that's nah, you kind of need to be
You're a
born.
real one because you speak up. Say, okay, I'll say
Yeah.
this. I'm so happy to. That's the thing where people lose it because I'm like this. We tell, we got the same friends too. We know the same
Hmm.
people.
Hmm.
I tell my white friends, we know somebody. I remember, but he never used it. But I remember
Right.
he wanted me. I know
I know you're
he
talking about.
raps, and he
Right.
wanted. I have numerous situations, but one with this person. Hopefully, it shouldn't be more than one conversation. But
Hmm.
he goes, man, because he write raps and everything, man. And, I used to do my thing back in the day, and it's like, man, see, it's kind of. He didn't want to say it. So you got it kind of not easy, but it's kind of cool how because if you ain't got nothing to say, some filler, so you could just drop that. You know what I'm
Nah.
saying? You could just drop
Yeah.
that nigga. I said, yeah, it'd be cool if I could say it. Like, first of all, I don't speak.
That's just so funny to me, John. It'd just be cool if I could just say it. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Let me call Farrakhan, everybody. Let me ask. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm speaking for everybody.
Right.
No, but I was like, look,
No.
bro, let me
Nah.
explain something to you.
You ain't gonna get my permission.
Hey,
Shit.
let me explain something to you. I have so many situations. I said, let me explain something to you, bro. Hey, y'all, we just vibing right now, y'all.
Yeah, no,
But
we
look,
feeling it, man. We
hey,
just chopping it up.
let me explain something to you. I
Oh
told him
God.
straight up. I was like, look, we respect you. I respect you. I can't speak for everybody. I respect you so much more than the folks you with, like the black folks or whatever, will respect you so much more. And I don't care if you grew up around I don't if your mama is biologically black and your daddy very black, you white. No,
Yeah, man.
right? And we respect you so much. That's why even those who like grew up in the black neighborhood or a black hood. Black neighborhoods aren't hoods, aren't
Right.
ghettos. Just let people know because they are all black neighborhoods. So it's a hood. No, because there's some
Nah.
flourishing black neighborhoods. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
affluent
Especially in
black
the South
neighborhoods.
and
Right.
everything.
Right. Even
So
in California.
in
Shit.
California, so so I'm saying you are more respected, and when you don't have to go there. And I said, and just to let you know, and I said a little bit more. I said, I'm cool. We know each other, but you're gonna go across the wrong one. Maybe I am the wrong one, but we cool because I love you. I'm gonna break it down to you. But
Right.
ain't nobody gonna break it down to you. They gonna break your face.
Right.
It's like,
Right.
or they
Right.
can do anything. It's like bringing a knife to a gunfight. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like
Yeah.
you can't judge how someone reacts to that. He had a little attitude, but I never heard it back from him. And another
Yeah.
thing, I always feel like this. Like, okay, I know people they say it amongst themselves. I just always feel weird about, especially when I see anybody, even white people, my nigga, my nigga, my nigga, my nigga.
Yeah.
I feel like this. Let's say all right, let's say we got a white friend, he with us, right? He
Hmm.
cool, he's solid. We know he ain't racist or nothing like that. And it ain't even
Hmm.
about really that. How would you feel if he was like, hey, my nigga, in front of your mom?
Yeah. Facts.
I think
Facts.
about that, like, and your mom, like, what? And they come from a whole nother era. I always
Yeah.
think about that. Like, that's just, but when I had
Right.
one dude say, but I'm from Oakland. So
That's a good point. That's a really good
I'm just
point.
saying this me. Do you? Because I'm going to feel offended and disrespected if we together. That's why if we rock with each other, I'm going to break it down to you. This is
Yeah.
how I am. You know what I'm saying?
My problem with that always has been, and I can't even say always, but as I've gotten older, what I've kind of grown to realize is that I think the issue with that is that they can kind of turn it off and on. Meaning that, yeah, one day I can be the nigga, I can go ahead and, and act black and, wear my do-rag and all this. But, once you get caught up in the lifestyle like an actual black person would, maybe you're under pressure from the law or some type of jeopardizing position where your freedom is in jeopardy. All of a sudden now you can just flip back to say, I'm just a white boy. I just want to go home.
That's
You
a
know,
fact.
or so we don't get to turn that off. You know what I'm saying? We
Mm-hmm.
don't ever get to turn off being black. You know what I'm saying? So you can't. I just don't appreciate trying to assimilate into this, I guess, culture, as if you really are bearing the pain that this culture really brings. You see what I'm saying?
That's a
So
fact.
so that's my thing about it. And because I've seen, like, even as a kid, like I've seen, like, other cultures, other ethnicities, say the word, and it always made me feel weird. And I'd be like, just don't say that around me, man. I'm just, go. I know you're gonna say it around other people. Just don't do it around me.
But that's sis. But then it's those, and I respect that because you have to speak up because he never said nothing. And sometimes people know they might look, but you have to speak up. You have to try to get comfortable in uncomfortable situations. That's what I be trying to do with things. And you ever get those that say like, or like, well, if you say it, well, no one should say it. I'm like, first of all, you ain't even qualified to even say that to me. Even that might sound wrong. Y'all can judge me for that. But first of all, like, where you get off? You know what I'm saying? Telling me, or if you say it, I should be able to say it.
Well,
no, but at the same time, I don't try to say it. It's.
But it's not even that too, fam. It's even. I think it's but no, I think it still stems to a person who would say something like that. I think it shows to that person's arrogance, to think that, just because because I'm in a disadvantaged position, because you want to have power over everything, even being in a disadvantaged position, you want to be able to have authority to say, no, I got power over that too. You see what I'm saying? Like, nah, man, like, can I just have something for me? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Can I just have something for me, man? Like, come on, man. I mean, we don't go into like China trying to say like, we all of a sudden, samurai, heroes out here, and we don't try to be like Eskimos or nothing like that. Or I'm just saying, man, but I don't know. All I'm just saying is just like it just seems they just feel entitled to feel they have the power just to say whatever and do whatever. And I don't think that's
it all comes down to this. We all have free will, do what we want to do until something happens to you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You go somewhere and then that's gang effects like in the Bay Area. We don't gang bang out here, but at the same time, you go somewhere gang banging and you wearing the wrong hat, the wrong color, saying the wrong thing. Go ahead and do that, knowing you shouldn't do it. Go ahead and see what happens.
Right.
There's consequences to your actions. Also, I'm not saying like levels gonna steal off on you, nothing like that. It's a respect thing though. Yeah. It's a respect thing. You ain't gonna go nowhere. You know what I'm saying? You go in the Crip neighborhood, flamed up, red ragging, still whooping and everything.
Right. No, absolutely not. No, man, you gotta have respect.
And if you didn't know, somebody break it down to you. You know what I'm saying? Right. But if you there with all that on, you already knew. You trying to fit in.
And I think more people just need to like kind of like you said, just speak up on it, because what you don't. I mean, if you're silent on it, then that's almost like you're kind of allowing it or being okay with it.
Some people don't like confrontation because they feel, especially if you cool. Say if we cool, right?
Right.
And okay, let's say I'm not black and white, and like man, and we chilling. I'm using it good too. Like, man, this nigga the other day, bro. Like that other, you like, oh,
he making it sound all good.
Man, this my nigga Will. I gotta tell
right.
Like, it's gonna be hard though. I've been in those situations like I gotta say.
But I mean, some people are pretty authentic though. I mean, when it comes to that, they authentically come from that culture, and they couldn't even tell the difference. Some people actually be raised by Black family, raised in the Black neighborhood, but I still think the authentic ones still know.
You still gotta know.
You still going to know, because someone in the hood is going to tell you. Like,
I know people. I know, man. Trust me. I know someone right now that's raised in the Black family, but they put the parenting, put it down, let them know what's up.
Right.
And to me, that person is damn near Black to me. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. But not like that. But at the same time, it's the respect level.
Right.
They wouldn't cross that line. Okay, tell me this. Yeah. I'm not saying he doesn't say nigga off the radio, because you ain't gonna hear it. I think back in the day, they tried to cover it up when Eminem came out. Now, I believe Eminem probably said it before, but how come he don't put it in records and stuff? Because there's a lot of rappers out here, even better rappers, and they get talked about white dudes. I don't care if you grew up around 1,000 black people every
Mhm.
day.
Mhm.
But all them black people ain't niggas.
Yeah.
Yeah, niggas come in all sizes, different colors and
Mhm.
stuff. But still, it's about a respecting. It's like one thing is like this. You could tell, let's always tell people about, like, you know, me, we'll joke around forever, right? We'll
Mhm.
crack jokes and everything. Unless you know me, because you know how far you can go. I mean, you can go pretty far, but if you don't know me, people cracking jokes, I'm gonna get a
Right.
couple off. I like this. Let me put this out there because I had this
Right.
hat in there. I just want to put this out there. I don't joke
Yeah.
around about 3 things, right? And the reason why I don't joke around these things because look, I don't know you, you don't know me, so I don't know if you really mean this stuff or not. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Or you
Mhm.
may really mean it. You know, I broke it all
Right.
down to him and I told him 3 things. Okay, I respect that. Now, okay, I respect that. Now, next time or one other time, you do it or you test it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So then it's just about it's about respect. So all those who hearing this right now, if you use the N word and nothing like that, I guarantee you, I don't know, people built a little different now, the new school and everything like that. I still think at the end of the day, you will be respected so much more if you just took that out your vocabulary
Yeah. I mean,
as a non-black person. I try, even black, I try not to do it to happen, but at the same time,
yeah.
I don't like even use. I hate when I don't even like sometimes like a lot of white people around like nigga in front of other white
Right.
people. That makes
Other.
me
Right.
feel
Right.
weird. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I feel like they look like how we know.
Right.
I just feel weird about that.
I mean, for someone who knows the history, of themselves and like the history of the word, and like what that means, where it came from, and all that, you understand the weight of that word. Now, understanding it now, as a grown man who's going to do the best he can to be on top of his emotions and not allow a word to elicit an emotion, from me, because that's not manly at all in my opinion. So look, I mean, a white person can go ahead, they can go ahead and call me nigga, call me a nigger, all they want to, but the one thing they ain't going to do is get me out of my cool, because that's the thing that word aims to do, is just try to get you out your cool, try to get you to act like the beast in the field. You know what I'm saying? Like the
Mm,
movie
mm,
was depicted. You see what I'm saying?
okay, I see
They
how you brought
wanted
it back.
they
See how you brought it back. Okay.
yeah, little turntable,
Yeah,
saying
okay.
rotation,
Yeah.
No man, but like yeah, we that word and these words and all that stuff, it's all trying to create and play into that whole stereotype of being, a monster, you know what I'm saying? Or just being that beast. And that's not, I mean, I'm telling you, man, like typically most black people are just hardworking people. I mean, honestly, most black people are kind of on the conservative side, they just want to raise their families, have an easygoing life, and that's kind of it, and not struggle, So I mean, other than that, we ain't beasts. Like, if you see a tall, like, athletic looking, good looking black man walking down the street, he ain't no threat.
And don't go up to him and be like, you play basketball
Yeah,
or
man.
rap. Hey, I'm letting y'all know this right now. They don't like hearing that. He don't like
No,
hear, like, probably get that a lot. And
he does.
you probably don't understand. Well, I will say this. They probably don't mean it in a racial way, but it is racial when you don't get it. Oh, you should play basketball. What team you play for? Like, because that's
Yeah,
all we have. You know what I'm saying?
right,
You got a jump shot. You got to be able to rap.
right. I
That's it.
I was recently reading Malcolm X's autobiography. I just listening to the audio book, and he was talking about this one point early in his life where he told his school grade teacher that he wanted to be a lawyer, and the teacher was just like, "Nah, you shouldn't want to be that. You should just want to be, like a carpenter or like a builder or something like that. That's what people like you, are more accustomed to doing,
People like,
and trying to put people, try to put folks in kind of a box, like that's kind of all they're good for. Oh man, there's 6'10" brothers out here who are surgeons and rocket scientists out there. You know what
straight,
I'm saying?
yeah, rocket science. We got, or yeah, all of that.
So I mean, but I don't know. I just think with the movie, it definitely kind of painted that picture of how white folks act in that time, and even still today sees black folks as other than everything other than a human, and just sees them as sometimes as a beast, or just some type of threat, and that's what that movie was really depicting. But and when I say these things, I'm not saying all white people. I'm not, these are definitely generalized statements. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes you
For
can't
sure.
even tell. Sometimes you can't even tell who is and who ain't.
That's a
I'm
fact.
just.
That's a fact, man. That's a fact, bro. Man, we could keep, man. We're going to have to release this in sections, man. It's a lot of good nuggets up in
Sure,
here,
sure,
man.
sure, 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 sure.
Man, like but yeah, bro, I definitely appreciate you coming on here, man. We
Yeah,
we need to continue to do this, man. I get some ideas in my head right now.
yeah.
We could do um before I close out, man, just share your, give your handles to all your social media and how
Absolutely.
they can find you and everything.
No, I appreciate you just having me on, brother. It's always cool building with you, my brother.
Oh yeah,
It's just always a cool, easy build with you, man. So I appreciate you, and I always love you, man. And just always love to spend time with you. But y'all
likewise,
can
man.
always find me at a Cadet Mortgage. That's my handle, Cadet Mortgage on Instagram. You can find Cadet Mortgage on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Just type in Cadet Mortgage, and you'll find everything that I'm doing over there. So check me out
Boy
there.
doing his thing, boy getting the bag. So yeah, so like that, y'all, man, I know what it is. And we went over them. Y'all let us know in the comments, what you guys thought about the series and what you felt about everything that we said or anything that we didn't touch on, any type of input. You already know you can follow me on Instagram at ForeverILoveMovies. And yeah, man, like, comment, share, subscribe, turn on the notification bell,
Follow,
follow if I say that. You can dance a little bit. Nah,
yeah,
and yeah, you already know what it is. My brother
yeah.
Mike, Cole, Cadet, it's Will, Forever I Love Movies, film. I'm out.